You guys, I'm so bad. I snorted Dionysus's ergot.
Oh no.
Yeah, that stuff really messes you up. Like I could see sounds and hear colors. The last breath of a dying tree told me a secret of a coin-based currency that when gifted to humans would make them go berserk. It showed me a future where Deliria's stupid family started using this money in their stupid city. They were all being weirder and dumber than usual.
So what did they actually do with it?
They used it to pay for things they wanted or needed.
But why? They already had trade. Did this money make them happy?
Quite the opposite. It made them even more miserable.
Is there a lesson to be learned here? Maybe we should give the humans currency.
If my hallucinations are accurate, and let's be real, they probably are, money could make the mortals do all sorts of horrible things. They might just do anything to get more of it. And inevitably, it could make them all sad. Even the ones with a lot of it. Then they'll come crawling to us. That's more valuable than all the dead chickens!
Is there anything else I can get for you?
No, everything was terrific. Here, take this for your service. It's worth one whole chicken.
And so it begins.
So what exactly is fiat money? How can a piece of paper hold so much value? And why don't we use something more valuable, like gold, as money instead? In this video, we'll dive into the concept of fiat money. Let's get started.
Well, we started using these coins and our civilization really took off. Suddenly I was rich and had something called free time.
How does it work?
We use these to buy and sell goods and services. I'm currently carrying the equivalent of 50 chickens. It's called money. Here, take one.
Apparently, it's based on a standard of exchange where these super fungible tokens, or coins, represent a certain amount that everyone agrees on.
What did you give this Athenian for it?
Nothing really. Just a couple of cows, goats, chickens, most of our weapons. But I'm pretty sure I got the better end of the deal. Think of how much more efficient this will be. And since we're basically at the beginning of time, most people have the same amount of stuff, so they'll be starting on a totally equal playing field.
There's only one problem. What do we do with Athenian money? We don't live in Athens.
I know. I wish.
Counterpoint? Screw Athens! What if we made our own money?
It's a long time ago, money didn't even exist.
This is Krapopolis' official coin. What matters is what it represents. Don't you want an opportunity to dream, to create a world where eventually money is something you can hold on to? Grow your wealth instead of having to eat everything you earn.
How does that work?
I'm really glad you asked that before rioting. Instead of something being worth a certain number of chickens or goats, everyone will agree on a coin amount that is fair to both parties. And that amount of coins can then be exchanged for the equivalent in goods and services. I know you're going to be skeptical, but...
It feels right.
You're really into it? You're not just saying you are so you can get my hopes up and crush whatever spirit I have left?
Let's do money!
Okay, everyone line up with your possessions and we'll start handing out the Tyrannuses.
A long time ago, people used a barter system to trade things.
What is this?
It's called money. The city's using it instead of trading chickens.
So these metal discs are valuable to you mortals?
People are nuts for them. When I get enough money, I'm going to get a third pigtail.
Oh, I could finally have a temple full of sacrifices that don't stink like chicken crap. Oh, I like it. I'm in. Spread the word. From now on, Deliria only accepts cold, hard money.
Every hour of every day, this government facility in Washington, D.C. turns paper into money. In order to keep up with demand, these machines are running 24/7, pumping out more than $500 million into the U.S. economy every day.
Just like that.
But this is only a tiny fraction of how much money is really made. Most of our money exists digitally, and this number currently goes up by more than $4 billion every day. Before it ever reached your bank account, it changed hands countless times, passing through people, governments, and businesses, all after being simply typed into existence on a computer.
Tyrannus, we have a slight problem.
What's that?
I went to town to get some lunch.
Woozy's kebab?
Is there any other?
You know it.
Boom! But Woozy wouldn't give me any because I don't have any more money.
That's an easy fix. We can just make a lot more coins.
But if the money isn't worth the value of something specific, isn't it by definition worthless? Worthless?
In order to fully understand how we got to this point, we need to go back to a time before money.
Being rich is way better.
Sir, here is your chicken.
Excellent. I'm starving.
Actually, chickens cost a bit more now.
How much more?
100 tyrannuses.
How is that possible?
There's a lot of coins and not a lot of chickens.
Hippo, you're the genius. What do we do about this?
Easy. We make more coins.
If you make more coins, won't chickens just end up costing even more?
We can't let this new system collapse. We're too rich.
If a farmer, thousands of years ago, needed a new tool, he'd go to the local tool maker to buy one. The farmer didn't have anything to give him in return, so instead, they both just agreed that he owed him something in the future. Because the toolmaker trusted the farmer, his promise of future value was an acceptable form of payment. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, the farmer came back and gave him some food from his farm. To make transactions easier, people started to pay using more commonly used items like cattle, grain, and salt. Everyone needed these things, but they were hard to come by, and that's what made them valuable. The farmer could now buy a tool and pay for it right away, using a precise amount of grain that seemed like a fair exchange. This made transactions quicker, and both parties would leave with something valuable to them. But eventually the demand for trade was too much, and paying with a random mix of bulky objects wasn't good enough. People eventually settled on using metal coins, like gold and silver, since they were small, extremely valuable, and would last forever, unlike cattle or grain. Suddenly, trade around the world opened up, and things were being bought and sold all the way from China to Europe. But traveling with so much gold became heavy and dangerous. This was when the whole idea of money started to change.
What the hell is going on?
When I left, Athens was thriving, but I came back to this. It was the money. When the other Athenians got low on coins, they just started making more. It seemed like the perfect solution, but it made everything worse. Like they say, mo money, mo problems.
Oh my God, we are so screwed.
Oh, come on. It couldn't have all been because they made more coins.
The money became worthless and people began to turn on each other.
This is bad.
You think? Our entire civilization collapsed over a 3-day weekend.
What's a weekend?
It's another thing we invented where...
Not the time for new ideas. We still need to fix the problems your last one caused.
What do you want me to do about it?
Oh my God! I don't know yet, but it involves us leaving right now.
Get off of me! Oh my God!
In 17th century London, trusted goldsmiths started to take in people's gold coins, promising to look after them for a small fee. In return, they would give the customer a piece of paper, a promise note that allowed them to retrieve their gold at any time. The key to this piece of paper was that the customer could go to any goldsmith in any town and claim back that exact amount of gold. The paper itself had no intrinsic value, but it became as good as gold. The notes were so convenient that people started simply exchanging them to buy and sell things. The goldsmiths realized that most people weren't actually coming to retrieve their gold, and so they started loaning out fake promise notes to customers, instant money that had to be paid back with interest, making the goldsmiths a small profit. This was fake money that didn't actually come out of their gold supply. If a goldsmith loaned out 100 coins, they wouldn't become 100 coins poorer. They'd simply write the customer a fake note that was worth 100 coins, which could be spent anywhere. Eventually, the customer would pay back the loan plus the fee, making the goldsmith 105 coins richer. On top of that, the customer would spend their money by paying someone for goods, making them richer. From that single loan, the total money in existence increased by 100 coins, yet no new coins were produced.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
What happens if people ever really question the system? It will not stand up to even the most basic scrutiny.
They won't, because they're lazy. And even if one day they do, we'll be long dead by then, and it'll be someone else's problem.
If we replace the goldsmiths with banks and the promise notes with digital money, we have today's system of money.
money basically is a false promise. Like, that's literally what it's giving.
Rather than question how currency worked, they just went along with it because they really liked buying stuff, which meant they needed more money. So everybody got jobs and worked themselves to the bone. All of this working ate up so much of their lives, they began to forget what made living special.
That was a great video. I learned... That taught me more than school has ever taught me. So me.